Good evening, Facebook world. This is Claire from Neuro Collaborative, and Erin and I have been popping in all week to talk about some of the topics that come up within the Neuro Collaborative. We are a community of neurologic physical therapists and some other neurologic healthcare professionals who are passionate about working and improving the lives of people who have neurologic conditions, and also have a goal of really trying to optimize our career, really do things that we love and enjoy, and help other physical therapists find those careers as well, and maybe figure out what population they love working with, or what setting they work in, or what setting they love working in. So you'll see I'm in the car. I had a change of plans this evening in terms of where I was going to be at what time, but I didn't want to miss this. So don't worry, I'm not driving. I'm in a still car. But I want to jump in, and one of the other topics we wanted to talk about this week is transitioning between different settings. And for the most part, if people are making a transition from one full-time position to another, maybe inpatient to inpatient rehabilitation or outpatient, that transition can be pretty smooth. There's obviously a lot to learn because things are different in different settings, and you may be working with different patient populations, but those transitions can go pretty smoothly. Another transition, though, that can be a little bit trickier to manage is transitioning from maybe having a full-time position to starting a side gig. If there's an aspect of working with people, like doing classes or doing some wellness or working with people one-on-one outside of the traditional setting, that is something that a lot of people are excited to do, but not really sure how to navigate that. So, thinking about what is your full-time position and what is it that you want to do on the side? Is that something that could be incorporated into your actual position, like teaching classes? Is that something you want to start within your position? Or are there things that you truly want to do that should be separate and will be separate from whatever your full-time gig is? Thinking about that, and really, I'd say taking some time to visualize what that would look like, what you really want to do, and then start to get into more of the specifics. Where would you do something like this? Would you be working with people in their homes? Would you teach classes somewhere in the community? Double checking and making sure that that is not something that where you work offers, and that you would be potentially competing with certain services, and have you signed a non-compete? These are all things that you should know when looking into that and figuring out what exactly that might look like. We know it can go really well, though. Myself and a lot of other therapists who are in our Neuro Collaborative Professional Facebook group have made this transition and started side gigs, and some people keep doing something on the side that they just enjoy and it's a little maybe extra income, or some people end up deciding that they want to transition into doing that side gig full time. So that is, something that you may want to figure out as well. So thinking about that, what is that side gig going to be? And then how are you going to manage your time? Is this something that happens in the evenings, on the weekends? If you are interested in possibly increasing the amount of time that you spend on that, do you have any flexibility with your hours, or the number of hours total you work per week, or the number of hours per day that allows you a little bit more flexibility to schedule those other things that you'd like to do that help keep you engaged and excited about what you're doing? Getting to try new things is something that's really important to me in my career. So I've never really had just one full-time job. I've always kind of had multiple positions that I juggled and was able to accept new interesting opportunities. And sometimes it's kind of a scaling up in one position and scaling back at another. So it's definitely possible. And then if you are looking to make that transition out of your full-time gig to either the position or job that you've started on your own, or if there's maybe a position you want to accept that's starting with lower hours and it would take you some time to build that up, figuring out first, what is that income that you need to replace? And that can help you get organized in terms of figuring out where you're going to charge for your services. Of course, it's great to do a survey and see what else is available in the area, what competitive prices are, but also realistically know for what type of work you want to be doing, how much would you be able to do in a given week, what do you need to charge to be able to replace your income and make that transition actually sustainable and realistic to do. So figuring out that math, and then maybe there's some other logistics like health insurance that you might have to look into, or maybe you're able to get health insurance from a spouse. But otherwise, knowing, what are your options if you don't have health insurance from an employer is really good. And knowing that there are options out there so that you don't necessarily feel like you have to stay in a position because because of something like health insurance. So figuring out a few of those logistics, what do you need to do realistically to be able to make that transition? And then, like I said, is it something where your current position is somewhat flexible? Can you adjust those hours? If not, maybe look into doing something like per diem or registry work that you're flexible, and maybe you offer a certain number of hours per week, but that's more flexible in terms of the times of day or how many hours a day you're working, and maybe some of it can be done on the weekend. And then as you work that job, you're able to do your new exciting career choice on your own. And so you're able to start to build up those clients, spend time doing it, and have a little bit of time and still have that work coming from registry or per diem to support you in making that transition. And that can work really well. And I know people who have done that and actually really didn't have to keep that registry job for very long. They increased their hours really quickly, got busy, and were able to make that transition pretty fast. So definitely we recommend kind of testing out the water. So if you're able to maintain that full-time job and start to see some clients and kind of really see, is there a need for what you're offering in the community? We feel confident that people with neurologic conditions are very underserved in most communities. Even if there's a big hospital system or a few clinics, it's rare for there to be enough in a community that really can serve all the needs of all the people with neurologic conditions, whether you work with a variety of different conditions or whether you specialize. There's a huge need and there's really an underserved population. So we feel for the most part that is something that there should be a need, but then it's a matter of, what exactly is it that you're wanting to do? And, can you start to get the word out, start to get clients, start to, see how quickly can you get busy and be successful with this? You can start to kind of test the waters and see how quickly you might be able to make that transition. And then see, what else can you do to kind of support yourself during that transition, make sure that there's income coming in and make that transition as well as possible. And I think there's a lot of people, in our Neuro Collaborative professionals group that have made it to the other side and are happy to share kind of how they did that and their successes. I was able to make that transition as well in starting my own business a few years ago. And it's really great to be able to do what you love on a daily basis, have some control over your schedule, and the activities that you do. If there's something that you don't really enjoy doing, maybe that's a service that you don't need to offer, and see, what really lines up with what you're passionate about, what you will be excited to wake up in the morning and go do, and then match that with what the needs are in the community. And there's just so much potential in that area. So that was just a little taste of that this afternoon, and hopefully that maybe gets kind of the creative juices flowing and you thinking, if you are in a position that you don't feel fulfilled or aren't happy, or you're starting to feel burned out, as Erin discussed earlier this week, thinking about what those possibilities are. Honestly, just knowing that there are other options sometimes can help you feel better already and relieve some of the stress, and then start to really do the work to investigate what that other option might be, what it would take to make that transition. If you want to be in touch with other people who have done it before, please join our Neuro Collaborative Professionals Facebook group. There's a lot of great discussion in there. I think we have over 900 members now. So there are so many people doing such awesome things all across the country and even in other parts of the world, not just in the US. And then we'd also love for you to stay in touch with us. So you can go to our website, neurocollaborative.com, and join the mailing list. And as we continue to write and think about these different topics and have more information to share, we will definitely get in touch with you. Along with our Facebook group, which is an awesome place to discuss and ask questions, we also are opening up spots in our kind of higher level power networking group, which is the Neuro Tribe. And this is a smaller group of professionals who really have specific goals that they're working towards. And we have a few things that we do on a monthly basis in terms of different content and meetings and setting goals. It's a little bit like a mastermind, if you've heard of that before, where we're all coming together and saying we have big goals for what we want for our career and our life. And we know that kind of doing that together with a tribe of people who all have those similar goals in mind will help us be more successful and help us move forward in a way that otherwise we might not do if it's up to us all the time, because we're working full time and we're busy doing other things. So it really helps to have that support and encouragement and talk to other people who have been there before and know what you're going through. So please check out the other videos that we've done this week. Erin will be on tomorrow again, and we will be on next week as well. And the doors will open for Neuro Tribe next week. So if you're interested in that, reach out, let us know if you have any questions. And if you are excited about your career in neurologic physical therapy, but you like a little more guidance and more information and more learning, then definitely consider joining us. We would love to have you. So have a good evening. Please post below if you have any other questions, join our group, and hopefully we will be in touch soon. Have a good night.